all discourse. The arrest and destruction of the functioning of the mind. The absence of any support. The non-declaration of the dharmas. The true nature of the dharmas. The absence of beginning, middle, and end. Indestructibility, inalterability. That is what is called the absolute point of view. It is said in the Moho Yenyiki. The end of discourse. The arrest of the functioning of the mind, non-arising and non-destruction, dharmas similar to nirvana. Speaking about subjects promoting action. Those are mundane systems. Speaking about subjects promoting non-action. That is the absolute system. Everything is true, everything is false. Everything is both true and false at the same time, everything is both false and true at the same time. That is the true nature of the dharmas. In various sutras of this kind, it is said that the absolute point of view has a profound meaning, difficult to see, difficult to understand. The Buddha preaches the Mahaprajnaparamitasutra to explain this meaning. 17. Furthermore, the Buddha has preached the Mahaprajnaparamitasutra because he wanted the brahmacarin, tch'ang, tchao and other great masters e.g. sien nipotsokIu to lo, and shokia mokin ti to have faith in the buddhadharma. These great masters of jambudvipa said that all the treatises can be refuted. All the confused affirmations and all the twisted beliefs, and consequently, there is no true religion deserving of belief or respect. Thus the Cholifu Pen Mo King says. Sariputa's uncle called Moho Qtche Lo in a discussion with his sister Choli, reflected thus. My sister is not very strong. She may become pregnant with a sage who would borrow his mother's mouth in order to speak. If he is wise before he is even born, what will he be like after birth when he is grown up? This thought hurt his pride and, in order to increase his knowledge, he left home and became a brahmacarin. He went to southern India and began to study the great treatises. People asked him, Brahmacarin, what are you looking for, what are you studying? Durganaka replied, I want to study the 18 great treatises in depth. They replied, if you would dedicate your whole life to understand a single one, then how would you ever come to the end of all of them? Durganaka said to himself, previously, I acted out of injured pride because I was outshone by my sister. Again today these men are covering me with shame for 2 reasons. I take an oath henceforth not to cut my nails before I have exhausted the 18 treatises. Seeing his long nails, people called him the Brahmacarin Long Nails. By the wisdom that he derived from treatises of all kinds, this man refuted by every means dharma and adharma, compulsory and optional, true and false, being and non-being. He confounded the knowledge of his neighbors. Like an enraged mighty elephant, whose raging trampling cannot be directed. The Brahmacarin Durganaka, having triumphed over all the teachers by the power of his knowledge, returned to Mokieto to Wangzhou in the public square. Having come to his birthplace, he asked people, where is my nephew now? They said to him, from the age of 8 years, your nephew has exhausted the study of all the treatises. When he was 16, his learning triumphed over everybody. But a monk of the tch'e clan called Qiutian made him his disciple. At this news, filled with scorn and disbelief, Durganaka exclaimed, if my nephew is so intelligent, by what trick has this Gautama succeeded in shaving his head for him and in making him his disciple? Having said this, he went at once to the Buddha. At that moment, having been ordained a fortnight ago, Sariputa was standing behind the Buddha, fan in hand fanning the Buddha. The Brahmacarin Durganaka saw the Buddha and having exchanged salutations with him sat down to the side. He thought, all treatises can be refuted, all refutation can be confounded and all beliefs can be overcome. Then what is the true nature of the dharmas? What is the absolute? What is self-nature? What is the specific nature? The absence of error. Such questions are tantamount to wanting to empty the depths of the ocean. He who attempts them will be a long time without discovering a single reality capable of affecting the intellect. By what teaching was this Gautama able to win over my nephew? Having reflected thus, he said to the Buddha, Gautama, no thesis is acceptable to me. The Buddha said to Durganaka, no thesis is acceptable to you. Then even this view is not acceptable to you? The Buddha meant, you have already drunk the poison of false views, now expel the traces of this poison. You say that no thesis is pleasing to you, but this view does not please you. Then, like a fine horse, which, on seeing the shadow of the whip, rouses itself and goes back to the proper route. In the face of this shadow of the whip, that is the Buddha's speech, the brahmacarin Durganaka collected himself and laid aside all pride. Shameful and with drooping head he thought, the Buddha is inviting me to choose between two contradictions. If I say that this view pleases me, that is a gross nigrasthana which is familiar to many people. Why then did I say that no thesis is pleasing to me? If I adopted this view, that would be a manifest lie, a gross nigrasthana known to many people. The second nigrasthana is more subtle. I will adopt it because fewer people know it. Having reflected thus, he said to the Buddha, Gautama, no thesis is agreeable to me, and even this view does not please me. The Buddha said to the brahmacarin, nothing pleases you, and even this view does not please you. Then, by accepting nothing, you are no different from a crowd of people. Why do you puff yourself up and develop such pride? The brahmacarin Durganaka did not know what to answer and acknowledged that he had fallen into a nigrasthana. He paid homage to the omniscience of the Buddha and attained faith. He thought, I have fallen into a nigrasthana. The Bhagavath did not make known my embarrassment. He did not say that it was wrong, he did not give his advice. The Buddha has a kind disposition, completely pure. He suppresses all subjects of debate. He has attained the great and profound Dharma. He is worthy of respect. The purity of his mind is absolute. And as the Buddha, by preaching the doctrine to him, had cut through his wrong views, Durganaka at once became free of dust and defilements, and acquired the perfectly pure Dharma. I also at that moment, Sariputa, who had been following this conversation, became an arhat. The